What's up and welcome back to my channel. It's JVCO. If you see me sniffling, that's because I've got a cold, but I need to film the video because I'm on a schedule, right? It's been a while since I filmed. I filmed 2 videos when I got into the country. Those 2 videos has been released already. Why have I why haven't I been filming as much? I think it's for a number of reasons. I literally just got to the country and literally got stuck in. For those of you that follow me on social media, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But also, I don't feel like I was really prepared in terms of equipment. I've only just bought a ring light out here. I didn't really have a phone holder, and I was all over the place, one place to another, and so on and so forth. But anyways, some of you want to know because you've seen me. Firstly, you saw me travel around. I went through Portugal, Spain, Amsterdam, Dubai, Ghana, Nigeria in like literally like 3 months. So some of you saw me travel around, and obviously I've been in Nigeria about 2 months now, and you're thinking, is this a permanent move or not? I'm going to answer that in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The content is going to get crazy. Trust me. So, first reason why I made that move, if I'm honest with you, it was more of a lifestyle choice. Is the move permanent? No. Let's start with that. So, nothing is ever permanent for me. I'm a traveler, and I like the idea of just getting up and going somewhere. And in fact, in March, I'd probably be in some African country, spending a month or two there. I love the region. When I say the region, I mean Africa. I'm not, obviously my origin being Nigeria, but I'm not tied into Nigeria. I want to have investments here, but equally want to have investments in other African countries. And I like the idea of having bases throughout the world. So, anyways, first reason was more of a lifestyle choice. Better weather. Um, your money stretches further down here as well, and even that down to like little things that might sound or seem irrelevant, even being able to get help around the house, like just having like a, do you call it a maid, or I like to call them a help, having like a help, having a driver. Like, I don't drive here. I literally just get my driver, he waits downstairs all day, and when I'm ready, I jump in the car. So that is one of the reasons why I made that move, because then it helps me sort of concentrate on what matters. I feel like in the UK, it's very easy to just be doing a whole bunch of nothing, because you're just dealing with personal life, you're dealing with family life, you're dealing with business life, and it gets very overwhelming at times. Hair takes away a lot of that stress, in my opinion, anyways, especially coming from the West. Number two is quite simple: networking opportunities. So since I've been here, I can't I can't emphasize on how great the networking opportunities are. I've met people that do like government contracting. I've met like top pilots. I've met top businessmen that are setting up companies throughout Africa. I've met top real estate developers that control like, you know, large areas of like Ikoyi, for example, which is, the prime location on the island. I've met everyone literally, and people are very open to networking. I would meet someone, and after a couple of conversations, they would invite me to their wedding. So people are a bit more open-handed here, and I think the network opportunity is truly immense. And in fact, I met a footballer. I'm not going to say his name, but when I was coming back from Ghana, our flight was had a fault. So the footballer was meant to be on the flight. He put out a call to the CEO of the airline, and the CEO of the airline ended up sending a brand new aircraft to come and pick him up. But obviously, all the other passengers that were stranded, we exchanged details, and we've actually been communicating ever since. And again, he's into other stuff because he's now a retired footballer. But anyways, I think the networking opportunity is truly immense, and I would implore you guys, come down here and see it for yourself. In the UK, people are very stuck up in their approach, but here is really not that. If you're in the right area, you would always bump into the right calibers of people, and for me, that's crucial. So, as some of you know, I'm heavily invested in Nigeria, right? And believe it or not, my Nigerian investment actually exceeds my UK one, for a number of reasons. Because all my Nigerian investments are cash investments. There is no sort of mortgages or anything of that nature out here. And I wanted to get closer to my investments, especially as I ramp up my sort of acquisition process. So at the moment, I'm doing a lot of acquisition. So I thought, what better way than actually being in the country and being able to like see, feel, and touch my investments, but obviously have like a overriding sort of oversight on everything. So that's another reason why I chose to come down, and then you know. That way I'm less dependent on my parents to get things done. There's nothing wrong with that, but like I always say to my dad, God keep you alive. Say to my mom, God keep her alive, but they're not always going to be there for us. So I can't always get dependent that my dad would help me complete a deal or my mom would help me complete a deal. So now I try to communicate with those people directly. They can get used to speaking to me and then sort of respect me in my own rights as well. I'll give you an example. So the video that I shot before with regards to sort of inspecting some of my projects or some of my properties in Nigeria, that guy there in that video was always used to speaking to my dad. And when he finally was faced with speaking with me, it was a bit, I wouldn't say daunting. Daunting is the wrong choice of word. It was different, right? But I had to sort of go in there, stamp my foot or stamp my feet, whichever one is right. But anyways, you know what I mean, and actually um, gain that respect from him. Being much younger than he is, and he's trying to say, well, I'm like your father. Your father is not in the country. I'm like your father. I'm like, listen, forget being like my father. I'm a businessman. Let's talk business. Being able to sort of go in there, take what's yours and control it, I think was very important, and it's very difficult, if not impossible, to do that not being here. And also within that same breath, whilst I look at sort of ramping up my investments in the country, I thought I'd be closer, 100%. So on to point number four. Nigeria, and in fact Africa as a whole, is massive on tech. And I genuinely think that sort of 2, 3 years on from now, a lot of you guys that are not in the region already will be priced out. And that's a fact. If you look at all the bigger companies, Silicon Valley, British firms, Facebooks and Google, they're doing a lot of stuff in the region. China, they're doing a lot of stuff in the region in terms of tech related. I feel like tech here is so untapped. Something as simple as having like a tech hub where maybe you sort of cultivate talent straight from university, I think will do really well here. There's this guy, Idris, can't remember his name, but I think his first name is Idris. Nipsey Hussle used him for his marathon store to sort of create that sort of user experience, and now he's fully blowing up, and he's actually Ghanaian. He actually migrated from Ghana to the US, and that tells you the art of the possible. Listen, Africa is way beyond what we were taught Africa was. Africa is crazy in the most positive way. So that's another reason why I made that move. I'm all about emerging markets, and I like to be one of the first people sort of getting into a field. So I thought, why not come here and explore opportunities in that area as well? Gives you an opportunity to just sort of travel to like similar regions like Rwanda, Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, all these places that are really emerging as top tech hubs in Nigeria, and who knows what opportunities would come from there. So that's the other reason why I made that move to Nigeria. You guys know I love traveling, right? So I'm nothing without traveling, and I'll be lying if I said that wasn't a big reason for making that move to the continent. You would actually see what sort of content I put out this year. I want this channel to be more of my personal sort of diary. If you like the brand, then you follow the brand on here. The brand is obviously all about business, investment, property, with a lot of traveling, and that traveling would always get centered around sort of business and investments because that's just naturally how my brain works. And I thought, what better place to start exploring first than Africa, where you're actually from? I'm in love with the region, honestly. I'm in love with the region. I could have gone Southeast Asia, I could have gone to the US, I could have gone to a lot of places, but I chose to start from here because home is where the heart is, and my heart really is here. So being here gives me the opportunity to just pop into the next country, Togo, to just go into Ghana, which is like an hour away, and move around a little bit more, and hopefully in a year or two be able to set up bases in strategic locations within Africa. Another reason why I moved was tax reasons. I'm not going to go into this much, but from a tax point of view, some things would really start to make sense as time goes on, and as you guys sort of understand a bit more about, the climates and just how things work in Nigeria compared to the UK. That's another reason. Another reason, I think we're on the seventh reason now, or maybe eighth. I'm not too sure, but I'd label it on the screen anyways. Another reason being, I look to sort of launch new businesses here in Africa. For whatever reason, well, for obvious reasons, I wouldn't go into giving you guys the actual business ideas and so on and so forth. But I've got some brilliant sort of ideas that we're working through. I think the first half of this year we're focusing on growing two projects, and then the second half of this year we're working on another project that is actually for 2023, but we're working on the back end of it so that hopefully we can launch in 2023. But then the second project we're actually looking to launch in the second half of the year. And a lot of these projects are actually being birthed from Africa. If you guys know anything about me, you'd know that a lot of my actual staff are from Nigeria. So what better place to be than actually being in that same environment? Because if I'm trusting my staff to be able to do a great job and they're from Nigeria, then why can't I also base here? And then that way, the working relationship has a better, I guess, synergy. So yeah, that's another reason why I chose to move. And apologies for the cold, it's killing me, but we'll get the video done. I labeled this as number 8, but I've already spoken about it. That being your money stretching far. Like, I would give you guys quick examples, right? I can go and buy a carton of pasta, for example, and that would cost me the equivalent of £3. Everything is just so cheap. So I'll give you an example, right? So even just living my life and spending and so on and so forth, just doing the normal stuff, it will be difficult for me to, other than clubbing, right? When I go crazy in the clubs and whatnot, it'll be difficult for me to spend a mil a month out here. Difficult on a monthly basis, which is around £1,300, right? But when I'm in the UK, that is a drop in a bucket. I probably spend that a month on bloody tickets going into central London and forgetting to pay the congestion charge. So that fact that my money stretches further is just so important. And this is what I said to my mum. I said to my mum towards the end of last year that next year, even if I don't grow in terms of my income, if my income stayed the same and I was actually based here, I'll accomplish a lot more. Simply because my money will stretch a lot further and I'll have a lot more left over to be able to do deals and so on and so forth. And a couple of little bits. One of these I addressed in the beginning, but I think there's a lot of success coming out of Africa, and I think there already is a huge migration push, but I think it's going to get bigger. So it's almost like beating the crowd. I'm trying to be one of the first, even though I'm not, but you get the point, beating the crowd and getting here before everyone else. By the time everyone else is getting here, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, we're fully set. We've got properties all over the country. We've got businesses all over the country. We've got a strong network throughout the whole region. And when I say region, I'm saying Africa. So that's another reason why I made that move. And then I think sort of like the final reason, which is probably understated, is the social economic, I guess, landscape in the UK, and just some little niggly stuff in general, from even the most basic thing about, let's say, the handling of the virus and, not feeling in control with, COVID, whether you want to get the vaccination or not, and so on and so forth. I think those things I wouldn't say they spurred me on, but I think in the back of my head, I think they also played a part in my decision to actually make a move. Because out here, there's no COVID and we just crack on as normal. And I don't see what the hype is about. I don't see no one dying. And I just see people coming out and trying to be a better version of themselves every day. And alongside that as well, I think there are other reasons that obviously didn't really play a part, but is equally as important. When you're here in Africa, you're just you. I'm John, I'm JV, whatever you want to call me, the mayor. But more importantly, I'm just me, regardless of this. Whereas in the UK, I'm black, and then you have to get through that first before you actually then climb any mountain that you intend on climbing. That means you're climbing a mountain twice. You climb this mountain first, then you climb the actual mountain. But here you're just you, and people connect with you on a you basis, because obviously we are all black. Like the continent is primarily black, so that is a non-factor. So, but yeah, I think more people should consider it. Whether it's Africa, whether it's wherever it is that you want to go, just make sure you're not living and dying in one country, because that's the most boring thing to do. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to taking the channel to some new heights.